All right, everyone. Nate and Beth once again coming your way, continuing our reviews of Friday the 13th, the series. In this case, Season 2, Episode 5, by the name of
Symphony in B sharp.
And what was our guess or your guess? I think we both guessed the same thing for this cursed
violin
item. It was kind of obvious. I think we both said a violin. So, having just seen this episode, we're going to talk about it. So, it should be said right off the bat that ever since I saw Amadeus, whenever it was, and I don't know, oh God, I saw Amadeus at a young age in the 80s, not long after it came out. So, ever since I saw that, I've actually been a pretty big fan of classical music. So, I appreciate, unlike the character Ryan in this movie, who's bored to tears until he sees some
the
whatever.
second violinist who
The
happens to
second-
be a very attractive lady.
With protruding collarbones. But unlike
Is that
Ryan,
what they're called? They're called collarbones? I thought they were breasts.
nope, the breasts are directly underneath the collarbones.
Oh.
But I'm not sure that second violinist really had any breasts. But anyway, that's another review. Unlike Ryan, I've been a fan of classical music ever since I was a kid, so I enjoyed this episode. I always find it interesting when, I don't know, horror, or, popular culture stuff, be it horror movies, TV shows, whatever, have classical as a part of them, because it's not too terribly common. So I always like it when that happens, because I think, well, maybe, just like the movie Amadeus did with me, maybe if someone's exposed to classical music watching this episode or this series,
They might enjoy it.
maybe they might get start a love affair with classical music. But anyway, two minutes into the review, maybe should we start talking about the review?
Oh,
I mean,
maybe,
not
yeah.
the review, but the episode.
The
Maybe you can
episode.
start us off, because now I blab my mouth out.
This kind of had a Phantom of the Opera theme to it, but instead of it being an opera, it was more like a concerto.
Phantom of the...
Phantom of the Concerto. Well, I guess it would still be of
No.
the orchestra.
Phantom of the Symphony, that's what I said.
It is a symphony, yes. I don't know.
So as Beth was saying, it's kind of got a Phantom of the Opera-esque vibe to it.
Yes. I guess it starts out with Ryan and Mickey going to this symphony.
She must have dragged him to it.
Yeah, probably did, because he was like falling asleep, and then he looks up to see the second violinist, and I guess they locked gaze.
I don't think she was looking at him. He was just Googling her.
You kind of get the vibe
Okay.
that she was, well, maybe it's from his point of view, she's staring at him, and ooh, wow, sparks were flying in his eyes only. And then you hear this, well, there's a guy cleaning in the basement, like mopping up, like
yeah.
a janitor. And he's singing to the concert, and all of a sudden he hears this shrieking of a violin, and he follows it, and the violinist is doing a B sharp, really ear-rattling note.
Ear-rattling note.
And I guess it kind of hypnotizes them to follow the sound, and he just kind of stands still while the bow has a dagger in it, which is, so it's not really the violin, I guess it's the violin and the bow together, that this bow gets this
Well,
dagger.
he presses some button and some blade comes out of the top or something, it
Yeah.
looked like. And it's like,
And he
ooh.
gets stabbed in the heart, and all of a sudden he gets his fingers back.
Remember this one, though? It was like the
Yes.
heart, they screwed up. It wasn't like dead center. It was off to the side, like
Yeah.
when you pledge allegiance to the shit, the
Very-
united shit of a shitia.
Okay, we get this.
Okay.
Yeah, so he just stabs the person in the chest with the violin bow, and each kill makes him more alive.
Was that really happening, or were we just thinking it was happening?
No, he got his dexterity back after the first kill. He
Okay.
couldn't really play until his first kill. Then he was able to play, and with every kill he gets more and more.
I'm
animated.
So the cursed item is the violin in
The
this
cursed item
episode, but
is the
who's got
violin.
it? The chick or the guy?
The guy has it.
Oh,
So
she gave it to him.
she
Or am
gave
I
it to him on
jumping
the
ahead?
No, she gave it to him as a gift. Unfortunately, it was on the night of his death.
They were lovers.
They were
And
lovers.
see, he got all scarred in some car wreck and burned up. Was he drunk?
Yes, he had.
They had
it was,
they had been lovers before he turned into a hideously deformed, burned, dark man-esque phantom.
Well, she gave him the violin for his debut concert.
She didn't know it was cursed.
She didn't know it was cursed, no. But she happened to give him the violin the night of this concert, and I guess they got into an argument. He left drunk and ended up getting into an accident where he doesn't die.
He doesn't die, but he got horribly burned.
But I guess death would have been better for him, quote unquote. And maybe he figured out in his not deafness and still having this perfect violin that there was some kind of power to the violin. So every year around the anniversary of his car accident, he publishes
I don't know how, but it's TV magic.
It's TV magic. He publishes a work of art or a symphony.
An audio recording?
An audio recording of a
how
song.
does he press LPs in the basement, a dungeon?
They had a little recording studio down there. It's perfect acoustics. So anyway,
who does
every
his cover
year
art?
he does.
Okay.
It's probably the same picture over and over again with different years.
Okay.
But so Ryan gets sucked into this love of classical music and
He starts harassing the collarbone chick. So
stalking her until she finally gives in and they have a night of passion.
we're only assuming that. We can't confirm that.
I'm pretty sure. She was pretty not clothed.
Well, that doesn't mean there was passion. Anyway.
There was something happening. But anyway.
Involving SEX, the letters.
It was, I don't know, there's 4 kills?
Well, 5 total. I mean, we can say 5 deaths.
4 kills, 5 deaths.
Yeah, the 5th one was the phantom guy jumping to his own death, I guess, in slow motion.
He was trying to kill Ryan, but the girl got in the way, and he ended up stabbing the girl
So
who
basically,
he was madly in love with. It's very Phantom of the Opera.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to. Some of these that are just got so many details are hard to explain in a short amount of time. So I'm correct in assuming that he had to keep killing to keep his fingers working?
To be able to play the music.
Okay.
The death of the individual gave him life for the music, and that's probably what the violin demanded. A life for the music.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess after trying to kill Ryan, he ends up killing the love interest, whom Ryan is also madly in love with only after a couple of nights of stalking her. And that's how young love is, I guess. But all in all, I wasn't very impressed. I loved the music, but the plot was kind of too much like Phantom of the Opera. I don't know. It didn't impress me much.
Okay, where would your thumb be?
To be fair, I'd have to give it a half thumb.
Okay, I'm going to give it one of those thumbs that's, between 10 and 11 on the old clock. So almost full thumb, but a notch down from a full thumb because...
Oh, why the notch down?
Well, like you say, because it was a rip-off of Phantom of the Opera, but I give it as much of a high as a rating as I do because I'm always grateful when any TV show or movie or anything, has a strong classical music presence. So
Well, that's how it got a half for me.
appreciate it. I mean, look at you can't see it. It's an audio review, but we're screen saving with
But the makeup was good.
His little hood thing that he wears for the majority of the episode is really cool looking. And then he just pulled off the hood and she's screaming You can't.
Okay, so it's
Freddy.
a very good burn face and the makeup is good. You know, the acting is
That was so funny right there. He
mediocre.
tries to stab Ryan and stabs her, and then he's
Well,
like,
she stepped in the way.
looked like, yeah, it's funny. And they put it in slow motion to make it drama.
Right.
Anyway.
But I do like the classical music. I just think it was too Phantom of the Opera-ish for me, and it was kind of predictable at the end. You knew that Ryan wouldn't die, even though he got mesmerized by the B sharp note, which hence the name of the
Yeah, because that
show
was
is
so
B sharp.
fakey. I'm like, because he kills two people and both of them just stand there and take it, and then we're kind of, I think the third time or whatever, we're like, oh well, this thing must draw them to the sound and then paralyze them.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just, because at first I was like, why are they just standing there and taking the blade? But that's why, because they get paralyzed.
But so what is episode number 6?
I'll let you take a look-see at that as I hand her the complete collection on DVD.
So season 2, episode 6 is Master of Disguise.
That's since become a movie. I mean, it's not the same thing probably. But.
Correct. But
Okay, so are you guessing it's a disguise? Cursed disguise. But what kind of disguise is it going to be? A Groucho mustache and glasses?
it'd have to be something that would be able to change form. So I'm guessing it's maybe a morphing mask.
I don't think I've got any freaking clue what the hell it is. I'm going to say Groucho glasses with the nose and the mustache.
Okay, sweetie. We'll go a morphing mask for Beth and a Groucho mask and nose and glasses for Nate.
Nose, glasses, and mustache.
Nose, glasses, and mustache.
We'll just shoot the shit for another 50 seconds here to get to 13 minutes. So, how are you enjoying the series?
I was going to ask you the same thing.
Bull!
Crap. No,
oh, you're going to answer first?
I've been enjoying it. I mean, some of these episodes have been, but when I get one that, like the last one, I really liked.
Which was that? I forgot. The heads
The more, heads you tailed.
Heads you tails die you lose. Okay.
Heads I live, tails
there
you
goes
die.
the dummy.
When they're more Friday the 13th creepy, I like those. This one was too
Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. How about you?
Yeah, the series for season 1 started really fun, and I guess maybe towards the end, maybe I was expecting too much, but maybe they got kind of crappy towards the end. But I mean, I have fun with them regardless. I mean, I hardly regret buying the series.
Oh yeah, series is great. We
fun.
should also say that Ryan actually was top billing in this episode.
Well, he's top billing in everyone, but he's actually seemed like the star on this one. Yeah, betting down with the chick, and
he was in it a lot more than the previous ones.
He's depressed at the end of this one, and he seems like he's been depressed a lot in some of these. Mickey dies, then his lover dies, and
poor Ryan.
Should we end before we get to 14 minutes?
Okay.
Thanks for listening, everyone, and
see you hear you next time, or hopefully you hear us again soon.
Might just be over 13 minutes, but we tried. Thanks for listening.
Good night.